wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, on to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fix is ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off post chain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R. Welcome to Rekt Riches. Don't forget to pound the like button, drop a comment, and always remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Wait, hold on. Cut the music. Always remember, I am not a financial advisor. I am for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency. Packing a lipper because you might get wrecked. All right. All right. So let's get into it. The markets are brutal. All right. We're going to be talking about PLAZM on base, which is printing while the markets are tanking. You know, how would you survive a bear market? If this is what we're in, how would you survive a bull market? How would you preserve capital? How would you compound money to make it stretch? All right, DeFi is the number one spot. I've been doing DeFi, dude, going on 8 years strong now, and I've always made it part of my portfolio of success, right? And I'm really excited for PLAZM, all right? PLAZM really knocked it out the park. And before we get into the tokenomics, don't forget a big shout out to the sponsor of the R2R live streams video content. Head over to DexFi.com/bonds, the official sponsor of the R2R live stream and video content, where they have paid over $746,000 in USDC, 70.76% APR right now, where you've had the opportunity for months, right, to invest and earn passive income in the form of USDC. Feeling that buzz. Packing the fattest lip tonight. Where you get exposure to the strategies that you use with expert entry and exit timing, precision managed liquidity, and range setting, okay? Now, this all ties in with PLAZM, right? This all ties in. And I want you guys to understand something. This is a beast. This is a beast. And it's different, all right? Everything that you're used to in DeFi, everything is Ponzonomics, meaning new users need to feed the users before. New users are required for you to exit with your return on investment or even break even or even to get any money back, period. Okay? So for the first time, you have a buy and burn that's been implemented that we've seen before, implemented on all the Build on Titan X ecosystems. Let's go ahead and full screen this, right? Everything you've ever seen with this design has failed. Why? There's no new users. No new users. And that's a spiraling out of control death. It's a death spiral, okay? It's been the death of so many platforms. every DeFi platform I've ever been in has gone under. Why? Because new users stop coming in. Now, why did they stop coming in? Because other new users are not coming in. The money supply, the pool of money depletes. And it's just like the same story over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? The difference here is DexFi.com/bonds is creating real yield in real time than paying users that $700,000 plus we talked about. Now, in DeFi, you need the new users to buy the token that's associated with the platform to buy at a higher price than you did. But instead here, you have a perpetual current where the token creation is simple, secure, and renewable. Every action feeds the treasury that generates that real yield through the concentrated liquidity providing on other assets that they have pooled that are paying that yield. All right, bringing that yield back to the buy and burn, creating sustainability without ever depleting, without needing, right? You have a beast here creating real yield so that this can continue going on without depending on those new users. Now, this has changed the game. This is a game changer. This is something to be excited about. Okay. Now, let's look at the market. This is not exciting, right? Bitcoin at 86,000, Ethereum below 3,000. If you're a Solana user, going all the way down to 131 bucks. All the FUD, all the drama. Whether you think you're in a bear market or not, it doesn't matter. There's always money to be made. And there always has to be some kind of new idea that occurs that's different to really consider putting your money in and investing in. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but damn, finding a place where you could park your money to grow. And that's where PLAZM is going to be most effective, whether the market's up or down. All right. So right now in PLAZM, you got to think shares, accumulating shares. You're going to have to storm the weather coming up in December, mid-December, when day 77 happens. Expect the price of PLAZM to go down drastically when most of the supply comes out. Mentally prepare yourself for that moment and be aware of it. But in DeFi, right, you normally want to get out with your money as quick as you can. The first one to exit makes the most. The first people that exit here on day 77 will have an opportunity to sell and profit. Maybe they break even, maybe they take a loss, depending on how low the price goes. But for the first time ever, you're incentivized to continue playing and being a part of the platform because there's a whole new wave of tokenomics and success that keeps this going. And it's not new users. It's the real yield. It's the real yield. This is the real deal, Holyfield. Link is in the description, by the way. You got to do your research and you got to understand what's going on here. Let's take a look at my portfolio where I have 32 positions, right? Now, every time you create a PLAZM position, it has a time period that you can choose from. So all of my positions here are 77-day max positions. You can see my ROI and all of them are in the plus. I even have some that are 6,000% plus. Okay. But think shares. You got to think shares. We'll look at the stats here. We're currently on day 55. Tomorrow, at the end of the timer, this pool of PLAZM that's worth 338,000 is going to get distributed to the users that are playing the game, right? And a lot of these users have that mindset of day 77 comes, I'm going to exit, I'm going to leave. They're going to do whatever they are used to doing. Regardless of understanding that you're not in a position to have to worry about new users, you're in a position of trying to stay in the game as long as you can to get more shares and get more tokens, almost completely ignoring the price, just like a long-term holder would have done buying any cryptocurrency early on. Okay, that's the main factor. It's like mental warfare is about to break out when my first positions start to come undone. So if we go back to my portfolio, right, I've gone in with 570 bucks. My position as a whole is $16,000 in value. Collectively, that's 2,715% ROI at this point. So keep in mind, you're dealing with something that is totally different than what you've ever done in DeFi. And when the time comes, when day 77 comes, and you see this price go down drastically to $1 to 50 cents or even below, there's going to be that mental warfare, right? Where you have to remember the long-term journey on extending your stay in your position. And I'm going to share with you how I'm going to do that and how I'm going to play that, and how the users that sell are going to be selling their tokens into the market, in which our buy and burn could buy cheaper tokens, which doesn't deplete because it's being supported by real yield. New users are just a cherry on top. They're not needed, but new users are welcome, and they will definitely help support the system in a positive way. But for the first time ever, you don't have to focus on that. The main focus, the driving part, like the thing that you need to drive into your brain, is being in the long term of it and ignoring the price. All right. So you can see here the DexFi Vault stats. It has 111 ETH right now. Its position and the DexFi, because any money that comes in here is invested into DexFi.com/bonds, right? In a position to keep compounding, to increase the position, to increase the yield so that the buy and burn never depletes. So we take a look at the buy and burn right now. $36,000 in value in E-share, where every 10 minutes this could be called, right? You scroll down, it's got 20,000 in USDC that can be called every 10 minutes as well. By design, on all the other platforms that have done this before, these numbers go down and they deplete where there's no more money coming in because no more new users. But when you have real yield coming in and sustaining this and making sure it doesn't deplete, it extends the amount of time ongoing that tokens will be bought and burned off the market. And the cheaper it becomes to buy that, the more tokens leave and burn forever. Okay, it becomes deflationary, and it will continue to be an ongoing force that can't be ignored. But it is being ignored right now by a lot of people because they're focused on this right now. There's a lot of fear in the market because of the price of Bitcoin, right? So I think it's one of those things that people will understand it once it gets to that point, right? And you just have to understand that sometimes when you have something different, you're going to get an outcome that you don't expect. I think the outcome that that most people expect is the price go down, and fear is going to continue to bring that price down in PLAZM, which is a fair speculation. It definitely will. If you look at the stats, right? We come to the stats here, and we go to the Fusion Watch analytics. You're going to be able to see the amount of creations that are done. They get the amount of creations that come up on any given day, the amount of tokens. So when day 77 happens, day 78 is going to release almost 2.3 million PLAZM. Let's assume all that PLAZM gets sold into the market. PLAZM will become extremely cheap, right? And the extension that you can do from your creations is to go into staking so that you can further push your money out while enjoying the returns from your share position and the more tokens you can accumulate while people are exiting and the buy and burn is doing its thing. By design, it's very unique and it's one of a kind. All right. It's one of a kind. I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm excited to see not only when this day happens, but to make my move, right? And my move is going to just get my tokens and shift them to staking to continue earning and continue to accumulate shares. That's all I worry about, right? Getting to here, right, where the amount of PLAZM tokens per day will continue to drop drastically that release, but the money is going to continue to compound while the buy and bird's not being depleted, right? Because with no new users hitting here, it would spiral out of control. But when you don't need new users because real yield is backing the entire ecosystem, that's when you have something that no one's seen. All right. So yes, you could speculate that the price will drop, right? But, AJ pointed it out the other day. Imagine not focusing on the price when it doesn't matter. Imagine selling 1 unit of PLAZM at just $1. It's far less money than selling 10,000 units at 10 cents. And that's a true thing. If you can train yourself to look at things as far as accumulating the supply rather than focusing on the price during these early stages, then you're going to be, way ahead of everybody else playing the game, because DeFi is a game. Okay. And the real external yield is the game changer, which no other protocol is doing. And they have successfully implemented this. And it's a dramatic difference that everybody, should appreciate. And you can once you start to see it happening in real time. Is it being underestimated at this point in time? Yes. If you're able to identify that, then it could be a game changer for you, especially down the road heading into 2026. So if we take a look at an example of how I'll shift gears, we'll take a look at one of my positions that was a $61 entry I used with Ethereum. It currently has an ROI of 3,258%. So at this point, it's earned 589 PLAZM. That's worth about 2,000 at the current price, 70% complete. I'll be able to collect this on December the 15th, right? Now, I can choose to sell or, right, because I imagine a lot of people are going to be selling on that day just to make sure they hit the safety of not losing the money they went in with. Honestly, just wanting that safety net of knowing they did not lose money. But I'm going to play the opposite side. I'm going to secure shares and worry about the units that I have. And the way I'm going to do that is this number of 589 is going to grow every day because I'm day 54 or 77. So I have about 23 days left. This will be a larger number. All I'll have to do is switch over and do staking. So the staking at this point, it would be like 589, right? I can choose 77 days. I can do maybe 16 days. So that way that the stake ends, right, after the new year. This is giving me a date of 12/8, but I'm just saying when I get my 589 plus whatever I get on top, let's just say it's 800 tokens. And I do 16 days, right around the 1st of 2026 in January. I will then be able to have a position where I earn more shares and I'll earn more PLAZM. I'll have to pay the Ethereum fee for that, right? Which you'll see here. Or if I do a max, for example, you'd have to pay $137 for 800 tokens, but your estimated earnings would be about 53,000 tokens worth $188,000. Now, if those tokens go down to 10 cents by that time, you got to think about the number that you had staked plus this. Let's just say you end up with 54,000 tokens. And after your stake period of 77 days, that would still be worth 5,400 at 10 cents. Even at 5 cents, it would be worth $2,700. And your shares would be massive, which your shares determine how much of this pool percentage you get. So you can really end up with a lot more units in the end, continuing to play on and just allowing people to sell their tokens while you stay in, while the real yield continues to compound and continues to feed the buy and burn. It's perpetual, and watch that grow. So really, the long-term game is the play versus in normal DeFi, it's get in, get out. Make your money and get out, and watch other people go down with the ship because new users aren't coming. That's the big difference. You're not worried about that. At this point, you're worrying about making more shares, creating more units, and lasting longer than the other players to reap the benefit of actually getting, $2,700 return on a $61 investment. But you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have patience, and you're gonna have to watch something happen in real time and speculate that this is going to be sustainable, which it's proven to have done so far every single day as we watch these numbers continue to not deplete, with there being no massive hype, people underestimating the platform, not a whole lot of new users, barely any new users on a daily basis. So in a normal case scenario, you would see this already probably like $2,000, and it would be looking real bad with day 77 coming. There'd be no hope for you, no matter how many shares or how many units. You would just have hundreds of thousands of units that would just deplete to zero. Okay, that's the normal game. But this is way out of the norm, people. This is way beyond the norm. So expect that to happen. Now, I did a video the other day. The link's in the description. Go watch the video on titanium.finance and go join their Discord to get a whitelist position. This is a licensed, regulated, real-world asset-based crypto hedge fund. They have partnered with DexFi to invest money into DexFi to feed their flywheel that they have going on, that's going to pay users anywhere between 5 to 15%, which is the goal, monthly. This is a serious hedge fund, okay? And you only need about $50 just to invest. So DexFi has big partners lined up to continue to feed this liquidity that's being managed through DexFi that's earning the yield. So that right there is like, a lot of things are happening that are just way outside of the ordinary. You can't treat it like anything we've used before. If this had no real yield and it was just the Ponzi, I would be trying to get out way before day 77. I would have everything lined up, 2 weeks before to run with my money and move on. But I want to stay in it, and I want to understand, and people that are getting involved with this, that, hey, listen, if you don't have the patience to wait and you need your money right away, it is what it is. But the long-term goal in the long game is going to be the big payoff. Let's go ahead and create a position where I'm going to use Ethereum right now. I'm going to go in with about $40. I try to make a creation as often as I can, right? So we'll do a $39 77-day creation. That's 6,900 estimated ROI. The daily is about 89.66. I use ETH, right? Up front, it's going to lock in and create 11.4 PLAZM that's worth $40. Estimated return is 766 tokens. I'm going to get 67,570 shares. I'll go ahead and create that. And I just make them as often as I can with whatever loose change I have. And just continue to participate. Not worrying about this guy, is this guy investing more? How many new users, tracking it all on chain? Because what you need to track on chain, and what you can, because it's transparent, right? And you see my position is just created. That's how you create, right? I have tutorials on that. The real stats that you want to follow, that you would normally follow when it comes to new users, is like the money flow that's coming in. You can click here to view on DBank, and you're going to see what you would normally want to track. Like, hey, is there new users? How many, let's say 10 new users came into a DeFi platform. Did they bring $10 today, $100, $1,000? If they did 10,000, like, that's a great day. They're marketing, they're getting new users. In this case, you're tracking DexFi Bonds, and you can see the positions and what's being earned, right? You can see all the positions that are here, the $1.4 million, and all the liquidity positions that are earning yield. That's real yield off of, look at the tokens that they have here. You can see it's all transparent, right? And they're earning and feeding it into PLAZM, into the buy and burn to sustain it for the people that are going to stick around for the long term. Yes, you can exit after day 77. Yes, you can exit after day 100. But as those people exit, brings a cheaper price, means more tokens could be bought and burned for cheaper, means you can buy tokens for cheaper and stake when that time comes. I'm not buying PLAZM right now at the current price. That's not the strategy. I'm creating, because day 77 comes, right? Why would I buy PLAZM at $3.54 when I know day 77, 78, 79, 80, and going forward, there's going to be a lot of sell pressure to bring this price down, right? I'll wait until big days happen, and you can track that here, and you could strategically see, hey, this is going to be a big sell-off the next day all the way to here, right? And then it starts to kind of go down. But maybe on a day like this, after day 77, you go and you say, maybe I want to buy on day 94 after a big day, and it really just drops down, and buy and stake, because you're going to earn shares from creations, and you're going to earn shares from staking. So timing the collapse of the price will be the strategy for those that want to buy cheap PLAZM and just straight up stake, right? I don't have to buy it, because I'm going to have ongoing stakes that I've created continuously coming out, on a daily basis, that I can roll into stakes. I won't need to buy it. I can just claim, stake, and choose the time frame. And the power behind this is it's really fun to watch in real time, because like I said, I'm not worried about watching how many new users. That's like a Dune analytics that we're used to, like, oh my gosh, there's no new users, this is over. You just watch the sustained growth of DexFi and the position compound, and the more money that compounds into the ecosystem, the more that this will fill into the buy and burns and the build and the buy and build, which increases the liquidity position, because PLAZM is paired with eShare. You're watching a beast in real time take place that is just the most interesting creation in DeFi that I've seen in a long time. And I'm excited about it. I'm real excited about it, because for the first time ever, when December the 15th, 16th, even on Christmas Day, when people are dumping the price, I could buy some if I wanted, but I don't have to, because I created enough to come out every day that I could just roll those into stakes and earn a lot more shares. So focusing on the shares and focusing on the units is the most important thing. Just like back when Hex came out and you focused on buying as much of staking as long as you could for the most shares, T shares, right? Here it's going to be having a big enough share to earn more based off the pool. And that's going to be the winners that just continue to roll it. And then you can have strategies of taking profit, you know, like for instance, when I take a position and let's say I get 1,000 one day, I get 1,000 PLAZM. Maybe I sell half and stake the other half, right? To cover the ETH that it costs to stake the 500 tokens for 77 days. And then I got 2.96 million shares and a ton more PLAZM coming out 77 days later. Still paid yourself. You got that Ethereum. You used it for the ETH that it costs to stake that position. And you keep rolling money into the future, heading into 2026. So the whole goal and strategy is this year, I'm not selling any of my PLAZM. Obviously, we know that the price is going to go down. Expect that. But if you can expect that and understand what you're doing, instead of not knowing what you're doing and thinking I need to get out, then, you know, that's on you. Hopefully you break even. But the likelihood is when things start to demonstrate in real time what happens after that big event and all those tokens come out into circulation and how PLAZM starts to really surface and becomes deflationary, you're going to see that, man, I played it wrong. Because you've been playing DeFi for so long, you're used to just the common way of things happening. No new users, no bueno. No new users means it's the end. Here, it's just a cherry on top. So, you know, like I just demonstrated, I got plenty of videos and I have 33 positions, right? You see the dashboard money. You just got to understand, and that's why you can use the Fusion dashwatch.com/PLAZM stats to see the amount of creations that come out on any given day, the amount of tokens, and really time, you know, when you can buy them for cheaper. Obviously, on this day here, it's going to be Armageddon, right? But I'm not going to worry about the price. When you know Armageddon's coming and you prepared and you have a strategy, right? You got your flashlights, you got your bunker, you got everything, and you have a long-term goal here, you know, and you play it the right way in a totally different environment, the outcome is going to be something way different than you've ever experienced. And that's what I really speculate. And that's why I'm truly excited about PLAZM. I'm excited about, you know, the titanium.finance. Go get the whitelist, join the Discord. The links in the description to their website. You just want to go here, click on the Discord, go figure out how to get whitelisted for them. They're going to be investing in DexFi. An actual hedge fund is investing in DexFi. Okay. This is a serious beast here. This is not to be taken lightly. That is fueling the fire here and bringing this token known as PLAZM to a true deflationary token. And we're in the process of seeing this happen in the next 30 days, heading into the new year. We're finally somebody who has a long-term mindset, especially in crypto. You buy Bitcoin, you hold it for years, right? For the first time, you could apply that to DeFi and have a long-term mindset and in a DeFi dApp. And the end result is the longer you're in, the better. You know, traders get wrecked, leverage trading exists, and it takes a lot of money from people. But now we have something different, and I can appreciate that, and I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. But yeah, just like homie right here said, Andre Mari, DeFi and chill, right? Just DeFi and chill. The market's going to do what the market does, and during this time, while the market has been doing what it does, right? And DexFi and the mechanics and the way it's built like a tank. The markets it's a war zone out there where only the strongest protocols are going to survive, my friends. And right now, PLAZM is showing its strength. Its position with DexFi and the bonds and partners that are coming in that are hedge funds, the perpetual buy and burn, the non-depleting of the treasury, that automated optimization, the relentless amount of money that flows back into the system. You've never seen that before. You've never seen that. You've never experienced it. And when you've never experienced it, right, a lot of you are going to have the mindset of what you've experienced in the past, and you will be selling during the time where panic happens because the price is going down, right? Other than strengthening your position when it comes to shares and the amount of units you can end up with. That's going to be the difference. And that's how you could be miles ahead of all the other players, because DeFi is a game. You're playing against other players for the first time in a position to be the smartest player gets the end result of ongoing passive income. Not saying to never sell your tokens. I just told you, if I get 1,000 PLAZM one day, I can sell half and stake the other half. If I sell 500, I get that ETH. I use that ETH to make a PLAZM stake. Whatever ETH I have left over, boom, I say that I could buy a meme token. So this is the first time that you have a DeFi dApp that the diamond hands, like they say, PLAZM rocks diamond hands. Yeah, the first time a diamond-handed position in a DeFi dApp is going to be beneficial because you have real yield. Now, if any other DeFi platforms come up, right, now I can say, hey, do you got real yield coming into this? Because if not, and you don't have crazy marketing and new users don't swarm in on a daily basis, it's Rekt. We've learned that. But now we've seen this go on for 55 days, and we've seen the buy and burn not deplete, the money flow in, the money grow, and things start to really surface. What's going to happen is the excitement comes when the fireworks start to flow in. When the fireworks start to set off and the PLAZM token starts to dump, especially after day 77, and you see what this was built and designed to do during that time, that's when people are going to be attracted to it, and they're going to see the strategy because they're going to watch me do it in real time, and other users are going to do it in real time, and you're going to see money being made during fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There will be an event of new users coming and going, oh man, okay, I knew about it, but I didn't really believe it. Now I see it. So like Joseph said, I feel comfortable investing in PLAZM. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely feel comfortable. Links in the description, guys. You got to do your research, know what you're doing, know how to create, understand the shares, read the docs. And this is bringing DeFi to a whole nother level. So when the fireworks set off and the smoke settles and you start to see the system buy PLAZM, not at $3. See, right now the system is buying at $3.50. It's going to be buying it way cheaper, making it deflationary, making your tokens more valuable. So yes, wanting more units and wanting more shares so you can get the most units you can is the game. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce. And that only reason why that applies here is because the real yield makes it so it doesn't matter if any influencers talk about this. It doesn't matter if 100 users come in tomorrow, 200 the next day. Yeah, that's great, right? But that day will come when people start to realize, okay, this is something different. And it was built different, designed different, and there's 55 days of on-proof blockchain data that you can see, and the growth success of this already working in real time during the most volatile time in crypto, the most fear, the most uncertainty, and the most doubt. And you're watching this beast work like a charm. So pound that like button, links in the description. Tell nice, yeah, price is irrelevant. Shares are king, and real yield is king. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, heart to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs, and sign fixes ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off post chain, but I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.